Hey folks, and welcome to Drinking Alone with Friends, a podcast where three friends drink alone together. My name's Chris.
What up? It's Tud.
And I'm Obert.
And we talked about it a little bit last week, but I want to touch base. So Tud, it's been a week, and I still see the gray wall with the gray border behind you.
Yep.
So the house hasn't fallen down.
It's working on it.
Or he hasn't posted bail. We're not sure.
Yeah, very true.
There's no bars behind me, so that's a bonus.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, I can't see the window, so there might be. Oh, there is a window. Hold on. Okay, no bars in the window.
Okay.
So how are the joys of home ownership there, Tud?
Where to start? The garage door broke today, so that's always fun. Our water has too much copper in it, so that's always fun.
Could be worse. You could have not enough copper.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess I don't want to be copper deficient, right? I mean, that's a bonus.
Yep.
And, and the foundation still hasn't been repaired, so that's a bonus, too.
Oh, nice. All right, so this is very important. Is the garage door stuck open or closed?
Half?
Oh.
How? What?
So when you called the garage door company, you were like, yeah, you'll recognize us because we'll be the one house on the block with the garage door halfway open.
Yeah, it got stuck like halfway, so I went and I pulled the cord so I could push it all the way down, and then I locked it. So the hoodlums can't get inside my house tonight, but it was stuck halfway, closed and or open, depending on whether you're,
you're an optimist. Yeah,
whether you're a glass half full type of guy or glass half empty.
Yeah, right. Well, I guess when you're talking in terms of garage doors, I guess closed is better. I don't know.
I mean, it was closing when it got stuck, so I call it half closed.
Okay, all right, that makes
fair.
sense.
I think it's whatever action it was trying to do.
Yeah. So isn't it fun? Like when you buy a house that is like seemingly fine, and all of a sudden it's just like everything's gonna fall apart.
Yeah, I didn't realize that things were so expensive. I mean, I guess I probably should have done a little bit more research up front. But Lowe's and Home Depot, I mean, that they've got it going on over there. They've got a racket going on.
Yeah, I mean, you figure people need to fix their houses, so where else are you gonna go?
Yeah, just a depot for homes. That's right in the name.
Or, Ace Hardware. I like that one.
Ace is good.
They're a little bit more expensive.
Yeah, that's what happens when you get those smaller stores.
But they have the helpful hardware, folks.
That is true. So when I moved into my house in Connecticut a long time ago, I had to replace the oil tank in the garage or the basement. And I thought to myself, I've never heard of someone having to replace an oil tank. What the hell? What is going on? And it's not very cheap to do so. So that was fun. Yeah. So I feel you there.
I'm hoping that the garage door does not cost me a lot of money or the water system, because I just have a strange inkling that I'm going to be told tomorrow that I need to replace my garage doors and my water system. And that's just going to not happen. I'll live with no garage doors and no water.
I mean, it could be worse. They could tell you that all of your pipes are leaching into your water and you need to replace all of your plumbing. So
that is actually a big fear of mine too, because my pH. So the reason I called the water people is because my water pH is a little low. So on one faucet that drips, it turns like the sink blue because of copper. So
that's not good.
So I am a little concerned by that.
So if next episode when we're recording you look like the Statue of Liberty, we should all be a little alarmed.
Yes,
I guess everything was bad.
It would be appropriately themed for the episode, though. But
true. So Tud, on a scale of 0 to 14, where 7 is water, how water is your water right now?
Which direction is copper?
I mean, acidic would be closer to 0.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. So we want to go like a 5.
Okay.
Ooh, that's probably not true.
Well, I can tell you, the pH of 5 is human urine. So
don't ask why Chris knows that.
The pH of my water is 6.8 currently.
Okay, all right. Pure water is 7. So
yes,
you're almost actual water.
I hope to get to 7. I strive for 7.
That's the goal.
Maybe 7. Maybe 7.2. I'd be happy with that if it was a little bit more basic.
Ted likes his water basic.
No, like,
so basic.
It's acidic, and then what's the other side?
Basic.
Okay.
You were right.
Oh,
You
okay.
just
I was right.
didn't know the word.
Yeah.
I knew base.
Yeah, you knew base.
Yeah.
But
over there with his pumpkin spice latte.
Ugg
Just basic
boots.
water.
Hashtag basic white bitch.
So I'm not even going to let you guys try this week because I'm going first because I'm real thirsty again. As
Well, I'd like to
usual.
introduce
know.
my beer then, just to jump in front of you.
So this week I'm drinking the Sorcerer, which is part of the Player's Handbook IPA series from Lewitt Brewing Company.
The Player's Handbook.
Yeah, so it's a sketch. It's a pencil-drawn sketch of a Dungeons and Dragons wizard. And on the side, it has like all of its stat block written in terms of its hops, IBUs, SRM, alcohol, all that stuff. It's pretty
That's pretty cool.
I picked it up because it looks like something D&D themed. And this is one that you got to check out on the Instagram when we post it. And this is their first of the Player's Handbook series. So I'm excited. It's a hazy IPA.
Do you have to wait for like the second and third and fourth to come out, or are they all out and you just have to find them?
This was the only one that was available, and it's probably the only one I'm going to drink because this returned from Portland with me.
Oh.
Yeah, so this is not available in Montana, but this is from Vancouver, Washington, which is right over the border on the Oregon-Washington line there.
Gotcha.
But yeah, cheers.
So it's funny that you have this beer because one of our friends on Instagram, one of the hashtag fans of the pod, Rhino fan, he posted this the other day, and I was like, nice. As a caster, when you play RPGs and such, I was very appreciative of it. So
It spoke to you.
it did. And it's a pretty awesome can. You'll check out the Insta.
Yeah, I will say it definitely lives up to the name. It's everything you want in your hazy IPA. I wouldn't say it's quite New England style. It's not as juicy, if that makes sense. Even though this does have 6 pounds of hops, I get a little more citrusy.
Holy hell.
Yeah, 6 pounds of hops per barrel in this guy. But I get a little bit more of the piney notes than more juicy. But you do get those tropical fruit aromas.
So does it taste like a sap then? Kind of?
No, it's not super piney. It's just a little bit more so than most of your typical, New England IPAs you would more familiar with back east.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
We got a 5 SRM here, according to the can.
Oh,
Okay, so it actually gives you the SRMs. Nice.
Yeah. It's in terms of mouthfeel, it's a good thickness, I would say, like you would expect most hazies. This is right there alongside of them. I'm gonna rate this. This is pretty good. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5.
Nice. That's a solid rating for you.
It is, yeah. And actually, this is Chris's suggestion. We're gonna do something a little new here in the pod. We're gonna.
No, we can't change things, guys.
Ever evolving.
We're gonna
Todd hates
record. We're gonna throw out our microphones and record like we're back at episode 1.
Oh,
Because Todd thinks we should never change the pod. So
no, never change.
never change.
Listen, this is why you guys can't view me on the pod, because I always record naked.
Yes, that's right. Todd never changes. Birthday suit for life.
Hashtag birthday suit.
But no, we're gonna do something a little different. We're gonna see how our ratings compare to the untapped average to see how we fall in line. And well, after we're all done with our reviews, I'd like to discuss where you guys typically fall in line with compared to the average. But,
Okay.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting. I'm curious to see how 3 professional podcasters drink beer compared to everybody else.
I mean, isn't it cool that we're like professional drinkers?
Yeah, I mean, we get paid to drink now.
We do.
oh,
It's
okay.
like-
You guys won't believe this one. The average is 3.94.
All right, so Obert was way over.
Yeah.
You can't get. Unfortunately, Untappd doesn't let you check into the 0.02 level.
Right.
So
You
I
were
got
thinking 3.94, but you just
Yeah.
couldn't. Hashtag Untappd, let's get on this. So
Yeah. I want to be able to change the 100th place on my rating. But,
okay,
Yeah.
so spot on.
yeah. But no, on the side of the can, I just wanted to quickly, before we move on to your guys' beer, it says, "Salutations, traveler. Welcome to the Player's Handbook IPA series, which will feature rotating styles of IPA throughout. Explore heroic character classes with us as we roll the dice and honor the fantastic realm of pen and paper role-playing games.
Look what I just found.
Oh, yeah.
Tud's
got his Pathfinder character sheet.
Yeah, that was, I didn't even realize I was just going to pull that out, but that's fun.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. I'm jealous. I want to try it.
I would, yeah. Wish we were back in the Traverse where I could just hand it over to you. But
you know, Chris
Right.
could just hop in his Traverse and traverse his way to you to try it.
I could. It would take me like 40 hours. The beer would probably be bad by then, but
Or drink.
I'm
Or
too
gone.
thirsty to wait for that.
So, I'll go next.
Okay.
I am drinking a beer from Trillium. I went to Trillium today on my way back from Boston and Canton.
Oh, that explains that smile on your face that has
Yeah.
been glued there since you started recording.
Yeah. So I had a lot of good beer there. They're you know, as I've said before, I like going there better than Treehouse because you walk in, you get your beers pretty much instantaneously. They have they have table service now, and you can buy your beers and go. So in all, my beer buying experience took all of maybe 5 minutes. It was great.
That's cool. And I've heard that they have an outdoor area now, too.
They do. So I was able to get a few frozen beers today as well and try those, and they were delicious.
The famed Trillium slushies.
Yeah, the bad beer that they can't really can, so they throw it in the slushy. I think I gotta tell you, the slushies are still pretty damn good.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Even a bad Trillium beer is better than most other beers.
Yeah. I mean, I've brewed my own beer. We know how bad beer can be.
We've done it.
So I am drinking Crown and Crate. It is a double IPA with honey and lactose, with Madagascar vanilla added in as well.
Wow, that sounds really sweet. What's the ABV on that?
So it is 8.6 ABV. Can is got a little picture of like honey crates on it, or like bee crates, I guess is the better term for that.
Bee houses?
Bee houses, beehives? Is that the word I'm really looking for? Beehive?
No, I think bee houses. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna go bee houses. And as you can
Bee
see,
apartment complexes. Ooh,
Wow, that looks really good.
that looks delicious. Yeah. Trillium they just knock it out of the park almost every time. Tud looks amazed at how this tastes.
Then he looks
I'm guessing-
confused.
Yeah,
The serious adjustment on that second sip.
amazed and confused.
there's a lot of flavor going on.
Well, yeah, the way you made it sound like you got vanilla, you got honey, you got lactose.
Yeah,
It's a lot of sweeteners.
I think you're right. Where it's almost too sweet, if that's a thing. Like,
That is a thing.
That was my
It's-
thought when you said describing it. I'm like, that sounds too sweet for me.
yeah, it's not juicy at all. I mean, despite the fact that it looks like it's going to be extremely juicy, there's no juice. I mean, it very much tastes like honey and vanilla. Like, it's interesting. It kind of reminds me of like the Hilma when the Hilma was fresh.
Oh yeah, I like that. That was good.
It almost seems like that beer needs to be rounded out by living in a barrel for 12 to 18 months.
And that might be the plan.
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
The barrel aged version's coming out in 9 months or something. So
this is. I mean, it's good. It definitely has. It definitely has a lot of vanilla on the front with the honey on the back. You don't really get the lactose. The lactose kind of just makes it a little bit thicker. Like I said, there's not a lot of fruit flavor, or I'm not getting a lot of fruit flavor on it. You can definitely taste the booziness to it a little bit more, and it leaves a weird aftertaste in your mouth, which is a little funky. I'm not gonna lie. I like it. It's an interesting aftertaste, but it's not something I would expect for an aftertaste for a beer.
Well, you said you get honey on the back end. Does that honey kind of linger?
Kinda, but it's like a more bitter honey, if that makes sense. Like, I would imagine like this might be what honey tastes like if you go into a beehive and eat the honey directly from the hive before it's like boiled down and cooked down into concentrated honey that we usually eat in the house. So I just wonder if that's more of like what I'm tasting. It tastes a little bit more like pollen-y, I guess is the word that I'm
Okay.
looking for.
Yeah. Not to fact check your honey too much, but I've had raw honey. That's pretty common here, and it tastes pretty much like regular filtered honey.
Okay.
I wonder if you're getting like some bitterness from whatever hops they put into it, and it's mixing with the honey like that.
It's possible. I mean,
I don't know.
That's probably what it is if I had to guess.
Yeah.
But overall, it's a solid beer. I like it. I have 3 more. I will drink them all happily.
And they only cost you $24.50.
This one actually was on sale, Chris.
Oh, okay. All right.
Sounds like we might know why.
It was $17.20 for the 4
Per can. No.
for the 4-pack. And I also bought a few bottles today. That one of the bottles was $2.55 per bottle.
Oh, wow.
Like,
yeah.
I was like, that's basically free.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have to drink one of those on the pod at some point, because I'm curious how Bargain Trillium beer tastes.
Yeah.
It's like a weird face your beer segment that you expect to be good.
Right.
Maybe in the next couple episodes we'll have to do a face your Trillium beer.
Embrace your beers.
Embrace
your beers.
Overall, I'm going to give this beer a 4.
Okay.
Solid 4. I think it probably, maybe it should be higher, but I don't think I can. I think it's too weird for me.
Okay. Well, let's see if the drinking universe agrees with you.
So it is rated a 4.26 on Untappd.
Ooh.
So I'm a little bit below average.
Yeah, I was going to say you're probably low. I think, and maybe we'll talk about it afterwards, because I have some theories on this, on averages and things of that nature.
Well, I think, depending on the brew. I mean, most of Trillium's beers are going to be above 4 as an average just because of who they are.
Right. They have that hot pipe.
Hot pipe.
Just looking at your face, I did not think that you were going to rate that a 4. That looked like it was not super enjoyable for
No,
it's
got a lot of different flavors going on, so your tongue just gets attacked by different flavor notes, and it's a little funky.
You should
Seemed
write
like
that
there was a lot going on,
in your check-in description. Be like, it attacks your tongue, but in a good way.
I bet you if as it gets a little warmer too, it probably will adjust its flavor as well.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah.
So I guess I finally get to go. Now I know how Obert feels.
Maybe we should just all drink at the same time going forward and just talk over each other.
Yeah, pull our headphones out and just talk.
Well, Chris, you have the patented opening sound in your reviews. I had mine I always pour mine and take the picture before we start recording. So
yeah,
there we go.
I don't know. I like the patented sound. So I'm drinking a bottle today, actually I'm drinking from a glass, but it came out of a bottle.
Over under if he can pour this correctly.
I'll give that I'll set the over under at 3.
3%?
No, I don't know. I don't know how do you over under that.
Yeah. There you go.
Did you actually pour it correctly?
Yeah.
Looks good.
That's a solid pour. So I'm drinking from Highwire Brewing the High Pitch Mosaic IPA, and they're out of Asheville. So we didn't go to Highwire, but they were there somewhere.
Oh. We'll have to just go back. That's okay.
Yeah, there you go. This says it's a balanced Western North Carolina IPA. So I think they're getting a little ahead of themselves.
A little presumptuous with their own style there.
A chorus of Mosaic and Centennial hops to balance out the malt in this dank and drinkable ale. So I actually do like the label art. It's like a hippopotamus yelling into a megaphone.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
It's a little steampunky. I like it.
Yeah, sort of.
Steampunk circusy.
Yeah, there you go. Mosaic, one of my favorite, actually two of my favorite hops, Mosaic and Centennial. So high hopes, high apple pie in the sky, So here we go.
Yeah, there was too many breweries in Asheville for us to get to, but I'm looking forward to hearing what Chris has to say about this one.
Yeah, I feel like you need to spend a good week there to try all the breweries. And even then, you might not try them all. Yeah,
I think I looked up before going. There's like 40 or 50 breweries and brew pubs.
In Asheville?
Yeah, there's quite a few. So this is good. It is not... I don't get a lot of juice. I get almost all bitterness and like piney type notes. And I mean, it's not a bad beer. It's probably not one I would buy again. I do get a decent amount of malt on the middle towards the back, but other than that, not bad.
What's the story on how you acquired this beer?
It is not a very good story. I went to a local shop and built a mixed 6-pack. So
you said at the grocery store?
It was at the grocery store, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's tough to get some good eclectic stuff at the grocery store, but the mixed 6s are great when you have to record a podcast and you don't want to be stuck with 5 beers of the same thing.
I mean that's the biggest.
Speaking from personal
thing.
experience. And I can see with a label like that why you picked it up, because it's like, a rhinoceros shouting at you. Or is it a hippopotamus?
It's a hippo, yeah.
Hippopotamus. It's like a hippopotamus shouting at you, buy this beer and take me home.
Hip hop anonymous?
It's good. It's not earth shattering. It's like a standard IPA. Now that I'm tasting it more, I get a lot of floral notes on it.
Would you call it a well-balanced Western North Carolina IPA?
I mean, I guess it would be well balanced because I do get both hoppiness and maltiness. So I would have to say it's pretty well balanced.
Is well balanced just code for boring?
Maybe. I mean, it's just not there's not anything like crazy special about
that IPA is more basic than Tud's Water is going to be.
Well, definitely is more. Wait, nope, probably isn't. I don't know what the pH of beer is. But I'll give this. I'm trying to be harder. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm curious. I have a feeling I'm low.
Harder than Tud's Water. Jeez.
So you rated it a 3. Untappd's rating is a 3.73.
Yeah, I figured that was going to be the case.
It is. People seem to like it.
Yeah. So I figured now that if we're going to make this a regular part of our show, we should talk about what we think of Untappd averages in general and how they compare to, how good a beer really is.
Yeah, I have a few theories on some of these. Like, if you get like a big name brewery, I think like the Trilliums and the Treehouses of the world, I feel like almost every single one, if you look up all their beers on Untappd, they're probably all 4 to 4.5, maybe even higher. And I don't think it's necessarily because they're all that good. I think it's just got the name. And everybody's like, oh man, I had a Treehouse, so I got to give it a 5, Whereas like these like smaller breweries, they can be a little bit more either accurate or maybe in some cases underappreciated. I don't know. I'm kind of torn on that one. So.
Yeah, I could see the case for both of those, for sure. And also with a smaller brewery, if they're having a limited release beer, let's say I have a beer and it came out June 15th and, I'm drinking it 10 days later, there's not going to be a lot of check-ins. So the average could really swing one way or another based on how many people have had it,
That is true.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. I also think that, I mean, a lot of it is, and I notice it more with like sours than anything else, is someone will go to, I'm just going to say Wicked Weed because we went there and they had a bunch of sours, but not necessarily always the case. But so they go there with a group of friends and they try a flight and they're like, oh, I don't like sour beers. So they give them all a 1 because they don't like sour beers. So that skews the average that way. And I mean, I can't say I don't. I try not to be that way with like Belgians per se, but it's impossible. I can't ever give a Belgian a 5 or a 4.5 or, because I don't really like them that much. So, I might not give them a 1. I might be able to realize, oh no, this is a good beer, but
yeah, it's good for the style that it is.
Right.
Yeah. And we've talked about the difficulty of rating a beer that you don't personally enjoy that you recognize as a good beer. It's tough. It's tough to kind of take your personal prejudice out of it when you're giving it a review because you are reviewing how you feel about the beer,
Yeah. Do you guys also find, and Chris, I wanted to bring this up, especially given how cool your can looked, and that was what drew you to it because it had the hippo yelling into the microphone. Do you find that a lot of times, like, the really good beers are not the beers that come with the really cool, like, artwork on it? Like, a lot of times, like, the artwork is what draws you in, and sometimes the beer is underwhelming.
I mean, I've definitely had that happen before.
I think we've all bought beer that we've bought for the can alone.
Yeah.
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 And, or name will do it too. Like,
looking at you, Patrick Swayze.
Yeah, looking at you. Solid, like, okay, like, pretty good beer, I would say, but 5-star name.
I'm happy that mine stands up in terms of cool can and delicious beer.
Yeah, sometimes you get lucky and you hit the trifecta.
Like, I can think of one, and maybe it's just because you had the Sorcerer, but I really enjoyed, what is it, Mage? The Mage by
Relic.
Oh, yeah, that one's really good.
That was really good, and I love the can art, so... Or Burial. Burial has amazing can art.
Yeah.
But, like, Treehouse and Trillium, no offense to them, it's boring. I mean, it's like logo and, like,
this
bee
one
houses.
Our logo is green on this one that we're calling green.
Right, it's like real original, guys.
The beer's really good. But yeah, I've definitely been suckered in by those cool looking cans or bottles or hippos yelling into a megaphone. So.
But yeah, I feel like sometimes you're talking about how beers get a 1-star or 1.0 on Untappd from people who don't like sours. I kind of think of that as like the Amazon effect, where you look at some 1-star reviews on Amazon and they're like, well, it didn't ship in 2 days, 1 star. Okay, you're not really reviewing the product that accurately. Sometimes I guess just people don't know how to review stuff is where this comes down.
Like Yelp reviews. We didn't have a reservations and they didn't have a table. 1 star.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not their fault.
They were angry when we started telling them off because they didn't have a table for us. 1 star.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
This is my mid-episode mini handle, but I love reading the 1-star reviews of places. I found one recently where it was like 4 reviews, all from the same party of 15 that tried to go to a restaurant and had a really bad time. It's like you could tell this was a nightmare table, and it's like clearly it's so funny when it's obvious to me that the customer is the problem, but not at all obvious to the customer.
Oh yeah, I know. It's crazy. I don't understand. But for those of you that don't understand what we're talking about, you're the problem. But
yeah, if you have to ask if it's you, it's probably you.
Right. But since we're talking about
problems,
no
ratings,
shit, I have
garage doors.
Okay. No,
I'm having nightmares when you say that word.
I was going to try and make a witty segue, which
into what though?
into our hit segment while we traverse ...
Oh, okay.
But I don't know how I was going to make it happen. It was
So
coming
you should
together.
talk about garage doors then.
Yeah, like Tud's half-open garage door, I can't fit my traverse in it. So here's while we traverse.
Nope. That's getting cut from the podcast.
No, I say it stays. I think that stays, and we just roast him right now on it.
Okay, let's hear it for Chris's while we traverse segment.
What a terrible way of moving our podcast forward into a segment.
You can't put your car in the garage. Might as well traverse with it. So
okay, it was slightly better.
Like an SUV with a high center of gravity. Let's watch this. Chris dangerously swerves into a new topic of conversation.
There we go, Obert.
Perfect. Okay, so anyways, let's go through some weird drinking laws. We're going to pick it up with number 11, which is New York. So
New York.
Right. July 26, 1788. Sorry. 1788. And New York,
where things are made of.
Oh, I don't even know what song you were just singing. What song was that?
What are they made out of? Apples?
Empire State of Mind.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't know. Okay.
Well, I don't sound like Alicia Keys. I'm sorry.
Booze can be a finicky thing to acquire in New York. Firstly, you can only purchase alcohol from specific stores, which does not include general stores. Secondly, alcohol cannot be sold before noon or after 9 p.m. And thirdly, if you are thinking of opening a liquor store, make sure you live close, since they must be owned by a single person who must also live within a specific distance from their store.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
That is weird. I feel like the middle one is not correct anymore. Because I've gone to liquor stores and bought liquor and or wine after 9 p.m. in New York.
Maybe not. I don't know when this is from.
Let's ask, instead of fact checking, let's just get our New York listeners to write in.
That is
true. If we
don't
hear from you, we'll assume that it's the truth.
Yeah, right. Exactly. New York, write in. If this is wrong, let us know.
I will say for New York's benefit, they are the place that I've been to that has the latest last call of any town, any city. I think you can drink there till 4.
Yeah, it just keeps on going, it seems.
Yeah, that's
Really?
That's a city that likes to stay out late.
And then the restaurants open back up at 7 a.m. So there's only a small window of time where you can't buy a beer out, because you could buy a beer at 7 a.m. when a bar opens up for breakfast.
Huh. Yeah. I guess I never realized that, because I know I've been to a lot of cities and places where you can drink till 3 a.m. but not 4 a.m. 4 a.m. is pretty late early, I guess. Anyways, moving on to my great state of North Carolina, number 12, and I read through this already, and I think we have an addition. But anyways, so North Carolina and Massachusetts seem to be in cahoots with each other. Happy hour is not allowed within the state, as well as any special alcohol sales or gimmicks. Additionally, the governor, if they so please, can decide to stop all selling, transporting, and manufacturing of alcohol.
Wait,
for
what?
any reason?
Yeah, I mean, I guess he just wakes up with a hangover. Didn't use his toast gummies, and
He's like, I'm never drinking again. And you know what? No one else is either.
If I'm not drinking, neither are you. So one thing that I am curious, and I think we can all harp on, is the fact that you can't buy beers for people that aren't visible by the bartender.
Yeah, this was a rough one we encountered on the bachelor party. For like such a good beer city,
Yeah,
Asheville, they were super strict about this. It was like they had to see an empty glass to prove that you didn't have one sip left of your beer before they gave you another one. So there's no way you could go up and buy a round unless you brought back, 8 empty glasses to be like, can we have 8 more beers?
Yeah. And like if you just get to a bar and like say people go to the table, you can't just be like, oh, let me get a round of beer for my table. They have to be like, no, every person has to come get it from the bar, and it's really dumb.
Yeah, that was super annoying.
Yeah.
I will say this, I don't know how I bypassed the rule. Maybe because they were just really busy, but I did manage to get 2 pitchers at one point. So
oh, there you go.
So
maybe they thought you were going to drink them both.
Yeah, but
allowed.
Yeah, they wouldn't give me 2 beers. So, but 2 pitchers, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, it seemed like different places. It seemed like a lot of places were really strict on that for some reason.
Yeah, for sure.
Another weird rule that we encountered down there is that they don't allow you to play games with cards. Like you're not allowed. You're technically, quote unquote, not allowed to play games with cards in a bar.
Yeah, that could promote drinking.
Yeah,
or something like that. Yeah, it was weird.
Which is why Dead Grunk was so like scandalous.
Taboo. Yeah. Yeah. At first I thought it was, because you could be gambling with the card game. But no, it was if you're, like you said, if it's promoting drunkenness, then it's not allowed.
Yeah. For a beer state, beer city, beer everything, it was a lot of anti-beer drinking laws, which is weird. But
yeah. Would you say that North Carolina is in the Bible Belt, Chris?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So that's not super surprising then.
I guess that's true, yeah. Yeah.
It's just a weird dichotomy of super beer city in a very conservative state.
Yeah. Yep. But anyways, moving on to number 13, the X part of Connecticut, Rhode Island.
The last of the colonies here.
Right, yep. And Rhode Island, fun fact, Rhode Island was one of the 2 states that did not ratify the 18th Amendment. But as ahead of times as they were back then, the state, for some reason, does not allow any advertising for happy hour. Happy hour is allowed to occur, but it appears that it cannot be broadcasted. So a lot of weird happy hour laws I'm learning.
I was going to say, Todd, we all know what the 18th Amendment is, but why don't you tell our listeners?
Why don't you repeat it verbatim from memory?
Todd's now Googling to make sure that the 18th Amendment is the one where they prohibited alcohol.
So the 18th Amendment is the amendment that was established on January 16th, 1919, and it prohibited the sale of intoxicating liquors in the United States.
There you go. Yes. So one of the worst ideas ever.
Yeah.
Luckily we fixed that, I guess.
We'll have to do a whole prohibition special on episode 1919.
Can you imagine if it never got repealed and we were just sitting here today, illegally drinking on our podcast?
Maybe our podcast would be like Reading Alone with Friends.
Welcome to this episode of Reading Alone with Friends, where we read you the Bible today, folks.
Yeah, we talk about what sections of the Bible we're reading, what chapters, what verses, hear it all right here on Reading the Bible Alone with Friends.
Oh, man. Okay. All right. So, 14.
Ooh, I wonder what state this is. Minnesota?
No. Minnesota's a whiles away still.
I'm going to guess Ohio.
Todd, do you want to take a guess?
Yeah. An actual guess? My actual guess will be South Carolina.
No. I think we already did South Carolina.
Yeah.
But anyways, Vermont.
Oh.
So, another big beer state. So, before 1986, the legal drinking age in Vermont was 18. However, that changed when the government threatened to withdraw their federal funding unless the state raised the legal drinking age to 21. So, so they were basically just holding out. They were just like, nope, not going to do it until they were like, no more money. And like, man, I like money. So
who doesn't?
86, huh? Yeah, that's not that long ago.
Right? We were almost born then.
Yeah.
All right. And rounding out the top 15, is Kentucky. And in Kentucky, it is illegal to sell alcohol on Election Day, unless it is a special election. And for a state largely known for its bourbon, unfortunately, you are not permitted to drink at the distillery if it's located at a dry county. But you can still get your fair share by venturing along the bourbon trail.
Huh. That's interesting that there's dry counties where there are distilleries. That's surprising to me.
So here's a fun fact. And the Jack Daniel's distillery is actually in a dry county.
Really?
So yeah. So you actually you can't drink at Jack Daniel's because it's a dry county, but you can buy stuff. It's really weird. So
now you lived like spitting distance from Kentucky, correct, Chris?
Yes, that is correct. Yes.
Did you end up going to any distilleries in Kentucky or anything?
Nope.
Ah, that's too bad. Missed your chance.
It'd be funny if he was like, I never even crossed the border into Kentucky.
I mean, realistically, I only did it a handful of times, but
keep in mind, Chris can spit really far.
Yeah, also that. No, I never ended up going up there. I should have. There was a few places that were on like my hit list, but never made it up that way. But there we go. 5 more states down, 35 to go. You know, we'll get there eventually.
Yeah, I hope this is a very well fact-checked and interesting article because we have 10 segments of our podcast that we're going to be referring to it. So,
yeah, well, it's what we're going off of, so
yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, if we haven't gotten to your state yet and you know some weird drinking laws, like I have a good one from Montana that I really doubt is on the list, write in. We want to hear from you. dawfpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, that could be fun. Some of these are very happy hour centric, so
and election day centric.
Right.
I just can't wait till we get to Texas, where it's like in Texas you can only drink if you can prove your gun is not loaded. Like
that's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be like in Texas. You're just you have to carry around a beer everywhere you go. It's a requirement.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for that segment, Chris, of While We Traverse. And now it's time for everybody's favorite segment, which is our handles on our Frosty Mug of Wisdom. There's 3 of them. We each have one. We hoist it, we drink it, we pass it. And to start it off, I'm going to share something that has made my life measurably better in the last week. And that's the show Sense8 on Netflix. Have you guys seen it before?
No, I've heard of it.
No? Yeah,
no, I haven't.
It's from the Wachowskis who did The Matrix. And yeah, I can definitely see a lot of the similar directing choices that have been made. And, you know, being a huge fan of The Matrix, I had to check this show out. I don't want to give too much away plot-wise, but it involves 8 people who are psychically connected, and they're from all around the world and all walks of life. And the show starts off with someone committing suicide, and all 8 of these people experience that.
Really?
And yeah, and they all kind of have to come together through their psychic connection to understand what's going on. And I'm not going to give away anything more than that, but I believe they made 2 seasons and then a movie on Netflix. I'm really enjoying it so far, but if you like that kind of mystery sci-fi type of show, it's worth checking out on Netflix.
Nice. I'll definitely have to check it out.
Yeah, very cool.
We're almost at the end of The Sopranos, so I'm going to need something to watch.
Yeah, check out the pilot, and I think you'll be hooked from there. But so with that, I'm going to hand it off to
me,
Tud. I'm going to hand it off to Tud.
So I'm going to share a tip for all you people out there who need to paint things. If you bring a dime-sized piece of paint from your wall to a Home Depot and or a Lowe's, they can match that paint color. Something that I've learned this past week. So I want to share that with everybody out there and just say, hey, you know, if you need to repair a wall because you scratched it or dented it or ran into it and broke it, you can go get paint from Lowe's. You might want to buy some sheetrock if you run into the wall too.
I was going to say, I don't know if paint's quite going to fix all those things, but just put a little paint on it. Now, that was actually a fun fact that we learned when we were selling the Tennessee house, because we had to patch some holes and things of that nature, and we had no idea what color the walls were, except for like brownish, I guess. And so, but that's what we did. We brought in a little paint spec, and it was pretty cool.
Nice.
So I take it you've been doing some painting of your new place, Todd.
A little bit, but we're also, prepping for the fact that we're going, like, once, like, all, like, the boxes and stuff are unpacked, we're going to have to, like, fix some of the walls because we've scraped them and dented them and that type of stuff.
Are you painting any new colors as well?
The only thing that we painted was the bedroom wall a new color because it was, like, sunburst orange, and we just couldn't have that in our bedroom.
Too much. It was too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, so do you have any other painting tips for the less painting inclined amongst our audience?
Tape. Make sure you use tape everywhere and stay within the lines like a coloring book. Don't tell Caitlin that because she doesn't know what that means.
I don't know what that means. It's a wall. Like, what lines are there?
Like, you don't want to, like, paint trim and stuff, so you want to avoid painting that. So you have to
I gotcha.
Yeah, whenever we paint, I'm not allowed to do anything near the trim. I can only roll. I can only do the rolling part. That's the easy part.
Very nice.
And so with that, I'm going to pass the mug to Chris.
Oh, why, thank you. So I want to share a video game that I've played before, and Dana just recently bought on the phone, because they have it on the phone now. And it's a game called Stardew Valley.
Oh, man, I'm glad you beat me to this handle.
Yeah, so Stardew Valley, I originally played on the PS4, and I probably sunk probably over 100 hours into. It was a lot of fun, and you basically inherit your grandfather's farm, and you have to, make it into a farm, but along the way you can go mining, and you can go, build stuff and meet people and have kids. It's a lot of fun.
It's like Harvest Moon, just newer.
Yeah. It's
spiritual
a lot like
successor to Harvest Moon.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. I really, really enjoyed playing it. Since then, see, I have it on the Switch now, and now Dana just bought it for the phone because now it's available for the phone. So if you go on, I don't know how much it was. It's a couple bucks or something. I guess it was like $8. She says as she just walks by, and but you can now play Stardew Valley on the go, which is a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
So if you're into that kind of game, it's worth it. It's worth sinking the time into.
My mini handle, my beer I'm going to pour into Chris's mug for this one is play through year one without looking up anything online. You're going to enjoy the game more if you don't read the wiki and kind of spoil the fun for yourself. Just do the first year solo, and you'll really enjoy a lot out of the things you discover if you're the kind of person who can handle playing a non-optimized game.
Yeah, that's a good handle right there, because you will spoil a lot if you go online. So, but there you go. Play Stardew Valley if you haven't already, and if you have, start a new farm and play it again.
Hey, just as a follow-up to this handle about video games, Chris, I saw that you actually took advantage of one of my handles and went out and purchased a game that I had discussed.
Yeah, I've been looking for a game for a long time. Not that I have a ton of time to play video games anymore, but I actually went out and I bought Dragon's Dogma: Dark Arisen for the Switch.
Yes. So
I played, I don't know, I probably played like 6 or 8 hours yesterday. So
how are you liking it so far?
It's good. It's really good. I feel like, I don't know if I'm on the main quest or not, but there's definitely some times I can definitely see where it's very Dark Souls-esque in a way, because I like try to fight monsters, and then all of a sudden I'm dead, and I'm like, well, why did that happen? And but it's funny. Like I went to this place in the game, and I was clearly under leveled. Like I was like, I don't know. I don't think I was doing any damage to these guys, but I was still able to go there, which was something you mentioned. It was very open world. You can kind of do what you want. So
yeah,
but I'm still like getting the hang of it.
And now this was the game that you said was like Monster Hunter plus Dark Souls plus
plus Skyrim.
Skyrim. Yeah, it's an interesting 3 games to combine into one. So.
Yeah, and it's not as good as any of the 3 in each of their individual categories, but it is really good on its own right. I think that's pretty much how I described it.
Yeah, better than the sum of its parts.
Yes.
Yeah, but really enjoying it so far. I will touch base again, but friend me on the Switch and use my pawn so I can get some RCs.
Well, you just can't say that. You gotta tell everybody your friend name.
hit us up at dawfpodcast@gmail.com.
Oh yeah, I forgot on the
friend
Switch.
us
It's
on
like
the Switch.
impossibly hard to friend someone on the Switch.
Yeah,
you need like a
it's really dumb.
16-digit randomly generated code.
Yes.
And there's no other way. Yeah, that's my hashtag why I'm cranky is Switch friends.
Yeah.
And so with that, we'd like to thank the breweries that supplied today's beer. I'm going to go first with Trillium and thanking them for their Madagascar Vanilla Crown and Crate Double IPA.
I'd like to thank Highwire Brewing for their High Pitch Mosaic IPA.
And I'm going to thank Lewitt Brewing Company, which I now realize might not be easy to Google. It's Loowit, Lewitt Brewing Company, for their Player's Handbook IPA series, The Sorcerer.
Please make sure you go onto all social media and follow us at DAWF Podcast. That's Twitter, Facebook, Untappd, and Instagram. Hashtag follow the email, dawfpodcast@gmail.com. Make sure you're sending all your thoughts, random or otherwise, to it. So that way Obert is really happy when we get all those.
Yeah.
Please make sure that you're going on to iTunes and leaving us a 5-star rating. That really does help other people find us. Please make sure that you're going to Patreon and signing up. We will be throwing up a few different pieces of content, one of which is a blooper reel pretty soon. And then also make sure that you go on there and somebody subscribe to the $25 podcast one. That way Chris has to drink an entire chelada with you on Skype.
Yeah, I mean, don't do that one.
That's Chris, I gotta say that's dedication for the podcast, because I know if I gave you $25, you wouldn't do it. So that just means you must really love our listeners.
I do love the listeners, especially the ones that want to pay us $25. But I hate that. Oh, it's gonna be rough.
Somebody's gonna do it.
I know, but I don't know who yet. So
I think Brad debated it.
Well, and the thing about it is it's going to be exclusive to just them. So
yeah.
So if you want this personal experience watching Chris drink the worst beer he's ever had, now's your chance.
Make sure that you guys are using our Amazon affiliate link as well. That way we get all the monies from that. Make sure next time you guys are looking for a Land Rover, you go on there, click it, buy it, have it shipped to your house 2 days. It'll be in your driveway. And
we keep saying that. We got to make sure that they sell Land Rovers on Amazon before we keep... For some reason, I don't think Land Rover is on Amazon.
I mean, they might be.
I know they have everything, but...
people should go check, and then when they see it there, they should buy it through our affiliate link. Special shout out to James Vakovic from James Vakovic Design for our awesome logo. And with that, my name's Tud.
My name's Chris.
And I'm Obert. And remember, if you're drinking alone, do it with friends.
So I think I'm going to start linking this toy Land Rover into our show notes. It's $35.39, so someone go on and buy that. Unfortunately, it's the only real Land Rover.